Hello from Los Angeles. My name is John Kyo and welcome to the 2020 version of the Future of Food 10 by 10 CEO interview series. And today I'm delighted to have with me Diana Sabrain, the CEO of OneAgrix in Singapore. Hello, Diana.
Yes, hi, John. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. Diana, let's go because the time goes very, very quickly, the 10 minutes. So in the first 30 seconds, what is the elevator pitch for OneAgrix?
So OneAgrix is the world's first B2B e-commerce marketplace for agricultural and halal food products with supply chain traceability. Through a revolutionary digital platform, we reduce costly middlemen through an end-to-end supply chain, seamlessly connecting buyers and suppliers in a singular customer journey, and creating one ecosystem that serves the world's Muslims as well as health-conscious consumers.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Diana. Now, you've been in business for 15 or 16 months and you had a planning period before that. In that period of time, that 2 years plus, what have you seen as the key challenges that the global halal markets are experiencing today?
Yes. So, when we incepted OneAgrix, we know that the opportunity for halal is untapped. It's a $2.4 trillion industry with potentially serving 2 billion Muslims by 2030. Globally, that's 1/4 of the world's population. And then we do see gaps in the market. We see challenges in the market. And this is where, OneAgrix, we identified the challenges to be in food security, in trade flows, in digitalization, and, in the standpoint of trust and transparency, where you talk about food fraud, food safety, and regulations.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I'm going to come back to those issues of digitization and trust and transparency during our conversation. But in that period, what do you see now with OneAgrix are the key opportunities in the market, and how are you addressing those at OneAgrix?
Yes, so just now when we talk about the challenges of trade flows, right, the challenges of food security, what OneAgrix does is we are here to consolidate halal food products globally, to improve and bridge that gap of the growing halal consumers in the West. In Europe, there's a huge growing a huge demand for halal food, but still lack of halal trade flows there. In North America as well, huge demand for halal, but we have seen concentration of halal food products easily available in Asia, but not where it is growing, in the West. So this is the untapped opportunity that we are talking about, and this is where OneAgrix will be here to assist in that trade flow, using an e-commerce environment to do so. Now, as I've mentioned, e-commerce comes with, issues of trust and transparency, right? Where you cannot no longer as an e-commerce platform, you can be divorced from the issue of having, lacks in food fraud, in food safety. No, so we need to have food traceability measures on the platform, and this is where if you're going to trade with EU, for example, we have really strict regulations when it comes to food labeling laws, food safety, and then we have halal to deal with. So this is where at OneAgrix we are able to assist in that front.
That's wonderful. So you mentioned a few points that are very important. I think the halal market also includes North America and Europe. So you already have a lot of very stringent food safety requirements and the need for traceability and recall of products if you place them on those markets. And then on top of that, you have halal. But can you do all of this alone, or are you partnering with other companies to build that digitized platform?
Yes. So as I've mentioned that we are, in our 30-second pitch that we are building an ecosystem, and building an ecosystem means inclusive leadership. And we are very pleased to say in this short span of a year, where we have strategic partnerships with Origin Trail, that led us to be mentioned as the only startup representing the halal economy in the World Economic Forum Blockchain Deployment Toolkit. The newly released toolkit. So this is where strategic partnerships would be the way to solve such issues. There's no one that could build an ecosystem alone, and I think recently big companies are also saying that you need to include startups, you need to include very established technology companies. So Origin Trail is one that we work together with. In Nexto, I believe you have actually interviewed Philippe as well. Wonderful company for us to do trace and track technology. We have Swiss the Code, where we talk about DNA traceability, which is, through traceability. So in this sense, what we're building as an halal ecosystem is an end-to-end solution, not just in global trade flows, but in ensuring trust and transparency that whatever food that flows, throughout the world, in Europe, in North America, in Asia, in Africa, would be, food which is less fraudulent.
Wonderful. Now, I know the companies that you mentioned. So Origin Trail, being a blockchain platform, enables transparency of the data and also trust. And you have companies like Swiss Decode you mentioned, and they're more on the analytical science to be able to test the product. And then you have Inexto on the traceability and also on covert or forensic features, maybe in and on the packaging. So that's a wonderful example of startups getting together with other technology partners to come up with a more inclusive ecosystem to go to market. But can you walk us through an example of, let's say, a big company in, let's say, Malaysia or Indonesia wants to list on your platform? What would be the key benefits that they get by listing on your platform?
Yes, so one benefit that we could say really obviously right now that we have would be in the brand protection. So what we are saying essentially is, let's say they are halal certified with Jakim, or they're halal certified by MUIS, they're halal certified with MUI. So what we do is we ensure that those certificates from those suppliers wouldn't be tampered with. So end buyers that see these certificates would know that, hey, no, these suppliers are trustworthy. At the same time, these suppliers will know, okay, my brand is being protected. In cross-border trade, there will be no cyber criminals who will steal my data off OneAgrix platform, which we see occurring a lot in e-commerce marketplaces, where these in B2B marketplaces where they download all the certificates and they use it for themselves. So this is one benefit. Second is we encourage them to adopt traceability measures as well, tracing their food, making sure that they do some testing, make sure that food safety regulatory laws are being met. In terms of food labeling, we do advise them as well. I just wanted to highlight that we are e-commerce platform first, so all those other things are the value add that we provide for our suppliers.
Fantastic. That's really inclusive, and that really sounds like a great ecosystem, as you mentioned. So partnering with these companies is a great idea, I think, personally, and so well done and congratulations on that.
Thank you, John.
As a startup, what are the key challenges that you have? And certainly in coming from Asia, you're based in Singapore. Are there challenges for startups?
Well, I would say for our industry in halal, for startups, in terms of the startup environment, I think in Singapore it's really inclusive. We have grants and subsidies that we can apply for. But what we are trying to say, that when it comes to being a startup, regardless of whether you're in Singapore or in the US, but being a halal-centric startup, the challenge would always be, letting people know that, it's not just for the Muslim consumers. Tapping on the halal opportunity is not a religious opportunity, it's an economic opportunity. And I do hope people here realize that even our partners, you see, they are non-Muslims, right? They are non-Muslim countries. The customers we serve are not from Muslim countries as well. They are from, Brazil, they're from North America, they're from Canada, they're from everywhere in the world.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Diana. Diana, in the last 30 seconds, if you're up in front of 50 CEOs that want to bring a product to market let's say in the halal world, what guidance would you give those 50 CEOs with regard to technology and traceability and so on in 30 seconds?
Yes, so what I would say is adopt an open mindset. And when I say adopt an open mindset, what I mean is, for opportunity, always look for the opportunity with the solutions that you have. Be open to that. People, when you build a certain technology company in food sector, you're serving lives, right? So you also want to tap on the SDGs as well, and not just for profit. And then we talk about evolve, always be evolving. Technology is a commodity, is a tool, it's not an outcome. And then lastly, network, always be building strategic alliances, having partnerships. So that's my last 30 seconds.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I love that concept of open. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There you have it, all the way from Singapore, the CEO of OneAgrix, Diana Sabrain. Diana, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and wisdom with us today.
Thank you, John. My pleasure.